Do.
What if I told you all you knew was an illusion, confusion untrue? They say the pages of history are written by those who claim victory, controlling minds for 2,000 years, kept us in line. No longer will we hide who we are. We're stronger together by far. We are witches, we shall rise from the earth into the skies.
Hello. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Mercury's been a bitch this week for everybody, but audience, hang in there.
Yeah. When does it end? I forgot. I gotta look at my own post to see when it ends.
Not soon enough.
Yeah.
Not soon enough.
No kidding. Yeah. Oh,
But anyway, hey everybody, welcome to Within the Quadrant. We are going to have another great show for you, like always. And sis, who do we have today?
we have a wonderful woman here today. We have founder of Coalfield Manor, Heather Wriston Wheeler, explores the paranormal, Appalachian folklore, and the stories hidden within the historic space. Coalfield Manor is a paranormal research location available for public and private rentals, and it's located in Mullins, West Virginia. With that being said, let's introduce Heather onto the stage. Hi, Heather.
Hey. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it greatly.
Yes, we do.
I'm sorry for anybody that was looking for me yesterday.
That's okay. We're blaming it on Mercury and retrograde. Trust us.
Yeah, we can blame somebody. So Mercury is a good thing to blame it on. So
exactly.
I'll take that, even though I do accept some of the blame myself.
In my day and age, I call it squirrelism. I just say, "Oh, I squirreled," and what was I supposed to do now?
Yep. Well, that's what was that old line I saw somewhere, and I loved it. It says, "I do not have ducks. I do not have a row. I have squirrels, and they're at a rave."
I love that. I have to adopt that. I might have to borrow that from you.
It wasn't mine, so take what you want.
Well, Heather, tell us about the Coalfield Manor. I'm so curious. I have a couple that I do some podcasts with, Ghost of Tennessee. You probably know Mark and Emily Ann. They go to you guys quite often, apparently, and I've heard about it through them, but I would love to hear more about it from you.
So we are located in the old funeral home. The building itself was built in 1918 after a fire leveled it. It leveled pretty much the whole town, and survived the next fire. Wow. And we can still, because I guess the bank next to us then burned a year later after this was built, or and the dates are a little
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to confirm a lot of things, but I get the general gist of it. We have char, my husband has pointed out to me lovingly, when he was doing work and some stuff in the ceilings and stuff way up on the third floor up against the bank building. He's like, yeah, wow. you could see where, but they had already rebuilt this building in such a way that they had a lot of stonework, a lot of brickwork going on. So it did survive that. And the whole town has, been rebuilt, and there's been floods and one thing after another. But in 1961, the local funeral home moved in here from a different location. So the funeral business was already established going way back. But Sam Fogelsong opened up a funeral home in 1961 here, with niece and Neely as well throughout the years. eventually it became the Tankersley Funeral Home, and that closed down in May of 2004. So it's still pretty, it's a pretty recent place, and we snapped it up on a lucky Zillow search.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, because I would, look on Zillow and constantly, wanting to leave where I was. I've been looking for years, and I mean, mostly it was just dreaming. Nothing attainable, usually coming up with multi-million-dollar buildings and all this other crazy stuff, because I'm keyword searching funeral, asylum, doctor, anything, nursing home, anything that would pop up in the history of a building. And this one, we had been, mind you, traveling around the country, basically looking for where we wanted to go die someday. We packed up the kids, the camper, the dogs, everything, and just started picking a different state every year. And each year, coming from Massachusetts, we would head south a lot. And anytime we went south in any way, shape, or form, we would stop in West Virginia. So we had stayed all over the state. I started it at first wanting to do genealogy research, and then we just loved it so much we kept coming back to see different areas. And this popped up, and I was like, oh, and I already loved the state. I had already found that I had roots here in the state. It was just, my husband he loves motorcycle riding, so the hills are gorgeous for that. He comes from dirt bike riding when he was younger. We are 2.5 miles from the Pinnacle Creek trailhead on the Hatfield-McCoy trails. Can ride right out of the garage. So we're just, everything is just, it was so perfect for us. And it was a funeral home. And I was like, I had shown it to Bob, and he blew me off. And, a couple months went by, and he was talking to some friends of his, and they were discussing how, if they could find the perfect place, this, and this, have all these check marks. And I was like, you mean like that funeral home in West Virginia? And I said, which would not only make you happy, but it would make me happy too.
It's a win-win.
It really was, and he was like, yeah, I guess maybe. And then one day he came home and was like, all right, let's go look at it. And so I talked to my mom. Thanksgiving dinner that Thursday, we ate with her an early dinner, and we dumped our children on her and flew the coop. And came down, spent time, visiting Mullins, checking out the local businesses, eating at the restaurants, stuff like that, talking to town hall, just kind of bouncing things off people. And we fell in love. Everybody's amazing down here. Like, it's just, they're awesome. So we put in an offer and waited, and they counted that 48 hours down. They waited till the last second. And then I heard Bob come running up the stairs in the evening a couple days later, and he's like, I think we own a funeral home.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I didn't even know if it was haunted at that point. So, it was, I just was like, this is a perfect retirement place for us. There's an apartment. Obviously it needs a lot of work. Cause it says that there's information about that being done in the 70s, the apartment, put on there, late 60s, early 70s, something like that. And I'm sure, there's so much space, and it's like a beautiful, apartment, but it's very 1970s, carpet in the kitchen and, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Although some of the tile in the bathroom makes me think it might have been earlier than that, that we found under the rug in the bathroom, because there was also carpeting in the bathroom. Because that's awesome.
Yes.
So, but I remember that from the 70s as a child. Some people, we actually very briefly in my house had carpet in the bathroom, and then my mom ripped it out. But yeah. But the tiles are nice and small and little. They're like those little, they're just beautiful. The little mosaic kind of.
Right. Little
mosaic.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're trying to save that. but we'll renovate the apartment and make it some modern living, and then we can move upstairs. That's the goal.
So the apartment is upstairs from the funeral home.
Yes, it's
okay.
Third floor. Yeah, it's on the third floor.
Gotcha.
So
wow. Oh wow. That's
incredible.
So
right now we're living in a casket display room where you would
Oh.
my store is in what we imagine was their sales office.
Right.
It was the nicest room, in the building and stuff. And so we imagined that this was it. And then there's a big accordion wall in the back of my little gift shop. And if you go behind that, it's just a row of beds because that's where we're all living till we can move upstairs.
Right.
Wow. That's awesome though.
That is really cool. I know. It's really awesome. So obviously it is haunted.
It is. We closed on it on, I think, January 8th, 25, and we drove straight down. We got the keys, we came down, we went around, and Bob was looking around, of course, because he's like identifying, okay, where's all the light switches, where's this, where's that? And I'm like upstairs doing an EVP session on the second floor, and I got a response right out the gate, and I was shocked. So I was all excited then. I'm like, so next time. And we just came down. It was a very short trip. We had no running water. We couldn't stay in the building at that point because we had no toilets and stuff. But we, I went home, packed up my equipment, and the next time I came down, I brought all my stuff and we went, I went full bore into it. And it's been a learning curve for them with the equipment.
Yep. I imagine so.
Yeah, but it's been great. We've enjoyed, so far it seems like they've enjoyed working with us. We've got some constants, some consistent spirits. And then I seem to have a lot of I call them transients, but I don't want to use that in a negative way. Like we said, there's fires, there were floods, there's whole city blocks that were just leveled at a time. And where do those spirits go? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that slowly but surely they're figuring out that they can communicate with us here and have a little interaction. So, I like to think that they're all just decent people from around town. And, if they're not into it, they won't be here. They won't stick around for the investigation. But if they are, they will. That's how.
Well, like a spirit party house.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. They come and go. There's different areas in the building where there are some specific spirits that we get consistently. Still working on names and backstories with them. But we kind of have a feeling for what type of person they are, what type of spirit they are, basically, Nice. I do believe we have one, at least one former mortician or funeral director or whatever you want to, whatever their preferred title is. I don't want to assign it to, but there's somebody we believe back there that if you get up on the embalming table, we seem to interact with, and he seems to be bothered that the person on his table is alive. And it's like, what are you doing here? This is
not right.
But not aggressive in any way, and people get the sensation of being touched on the embalming table. And that was something that was left over from them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the embalming equipment was still there. I mean, they left everything when they left. So we were thankful for that. I mean, I could have used the hearse, but that would have
been cool. That would have been like the icing of the cake.
That's right, exactly.
So but the Tankersley funeral home sold to a funeral conglomerate out of Georgia, and that's who we bought the building off of. Gotcha. So the last funeral director that was here, he took whatever he wanted or whatever. And he's now at a funeral home just a little north of here. So, it's not here in town anymore, but the people that know and trust and, for him can still find him.
So I would imagine they probably have, I mean, again, I'm hopeful, but that there would be a lot of records that they would have. Would they have left that behind for you as well?
They did, but it's not something we can show. And it's been something we've been slowly cleaning out because it's got people's private information, social security numbers, credit card numbers. I mean, when I say they left everything, they left everything. So it's not something that we want the public going through. Right. It is on our waiver that if you happen to see something on anything, because we've got an old printing press out back that still has certain things set up. We don't want names and stuff out there because there's, you know what I mean? It's just because their name is in here doesn't mean their spirit's in here. And these people still have families living here. And that's not, I love the paranormal. I love getting spooky. I am not a fan of trampling on people's memories. Right. So I like to, keep that quiet. Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Because they closed in 2004. 2024. Like it hasn't been, you know what I mean? So these
it's so recent. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Their families are here. But we bought a new casket and, set up the viewing room, and Bob built me a wonderful stand because I didn't want it on the ground, but I was worried about it tipping over if people wanted to get in it. Right. So he built me a beautiful stand, bolted the casket to it, and then actually made steps going up into it so people can, with a handrail, so they can get up, you know what I mean? Get up and get in if they want. It's turned out to be a phenomenal trigger object.
I bet.
And a great photo op for people that want to do it. So it's been interesting to see the people that do and don't get in, and then how other people react. And I've been in it a number of times, and it's a brand new casket. It's not like it's been used or anything. That's the embalming table.
Yeah, exactly.
For the slightly more daring.
Yeah.
But I know
my husband's here. He's like shaking his head. No way. And he's looking at me like I'm going to go there and take pictures, which I probably would if I was.
Yeah, I was going to say road trip.
Absolutely.
I just heard him. Nope.
You don't have to get on it. But there's a child so the embalming room is part of an apartment that was on the back side of the building that they basically just blew a door through and made it the embalming space, because they had a really tiny space that they were working in before that apartment. So the child back there, we catch him hiding under the embalming table. We catch him a lot on the SLS. We got some toys and some books. I'm still working on an age. He comes out. He'll come out and walk around and make his presence known. We've caught him, a small boy's voice, a disembodied voice, out in the chapel room where the casket is. I can hear the pacing at night up and down my bedroom, and there's nobody in there. Right. So, and I believe it's him, and he tends to come out for women, for moms. He's getting a bit more adventurous and will approach men now, but he definitely was attracted to that mother energy in the beginning. I have no age, no date, no name, no nothing to correlate with him. But he seems to like the toys. He likes the fart book I bought him. And, but I'm like, well, we're going to give an average range for a young boy. So I'm like 12. What's funny to a 12-year-old boy?
Right.
Farts,
exactly.
Yeah. So, or younger, or older. I still find farts funny, but so there's a woman in the back there in that apartment too. I do not know if she is any relation to the boy or not. She is like the opposite, is not really a fan of the women, but tends to love the men. And she stays in one back bedroom back there.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like she doesn't really want to come out. And then there's just everything else. So I've had people tell me that there's some non-human entities here. I have yet to get any form of confirmation on that. So I right now just taking all that with a grain of salt until I see it. I'm a very skeptical investigator.
Smart.
And I have trust issues. So, which I think everybody should going into
Right.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so.
It's interesting because I did an investigation in Southern Arizona at the Clifton Hotel, and it's smack up against a morgue, funeral home morgue. And I did get the opportunity to go into that building and be able to investigate it. And they've turned it into it's a home, but it's like apartments that they've created with a common kitchen. But each apartment has its own bathroom. It's just a common kitchen that they share. And going through and discussing with each of the occupants, there's like 3 roommates basically currently at the time that I was talking to them. And they had a basement where they did the embalming, and everything was in the basement. And there's actually a basement door that had a ramp that, that they could slide down the gurney to the basement. And it is very active, and there are transients that come and go. It's really interesting that they may not have even had their time at the funeral home, but they found it and end up there. So it's really interesting that you said that, because it must be some sort of a common thread within the behind the veil, basically.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. We're at the confluence of one larger, one smaller river that come, they come together just down the end of the street. We've got the train tracks that run through. They still are hauling coal, not a lot, but we still see coal trains go through. That's the only kind of train I've seen so far, but it was once a big passenger hub. Mining disasters, things that have happened, just illnesses, sickness. The mine wars weren't so much over here. They were a little further west of us. Actually, Matewan has a wonderful museum on the mine wars. If people want to ever look into the history of it, it is fascinating, because you would think, does the U.S. government want to drop bombs on its own citizens on its own soil? Maybe. Maybe it got really hairy. So it's a rich history. The Hatfield McCoy feud, that's also over in Mingo County. It's just the history of, and people, they were self-sufficient down here. So each village was taking care of itself.
That's
lots
really
of stuff.
cool.
Yeah. So lots of stuff comes and goes. And like I said, the town burned down. The whole business district burned down completely. And that's when my building was rebuilt. But there were, like I said, there were other fires. There are hotels that are gone. There's the next lot just south of me is completely green. There's it's funny because it's all grass. And then on the far end, there's one strip of sidewalk. And then on this end, there's one strip of sidewalk. And you can see little tiles from what we used to be, like how they would have like that tiled entrance when the doors kind of went in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
How they would fold doors in, and then they have you know what I mean? Like a little
bifolds, like a bifold door.
Yeah. So it was kind of like that. And like you could see the tile is still out there. They're going to build a new fire station over there. But if you think about that whole city block, there were restaurants, there was a radio station, there was all sorts of businesses over there. And I'm going to assume, because every block has it, apartments upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Because all through the downtown, there's all of our buildings seem to have had, apartments on the upper levels. So, where did they go? What are they doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just, and I'm sure they're still kicking around town, because I do believe that we go back to the people, places, and things that we loved. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the big things. People say, oh, you're exploiting our loved ones. And I was like, well, I don't think they're here. Right? I don't think that our, why would you go back to the funeral? Like,
right. Why would you be
there
to the funeral home?
Right. And if that's the case, wouldn't they be, if they're stuck to that, why wouldn't they be stuck to where they died? And none of this is true. It's like, try containing that energy. If they're going to go where they want to go.
It's either like an energy imprint, or it's fragmented. Our souls can fragment. And so we can be in multiple places at multiple times. I mean, I could be with Chrissy, I could be with you, I could be at Disneyland all at the same time. So, our soul can do whatever and go wherever they want. And if the funeral home was a peaceful environment, they can certainly go there and hang out for a little bit and then take off and go somewhere else. It's not that they're stuck there. There's no exploitate, whatever that I can't say the word.
Expectations.
Thank you. Right. So it's just, I don't think that it's not like they're earthbound. You'll see that in jails a lot more, where they purposely will, because they fear judgment. So they'll fear the judgment, so they won't go on to the other side. They'll make it their own private hell. I've encountered spirits where they do that in a jail, for instance, but a funeral home, no.
Everything here, I have not found anything here that is aggressive.
Right.
Grumpy, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But aggressive? No.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. I actually just set up my first junior investigation. So where kids can come and do have an investigation that's just for them.
Right.
That'd be fun.
So because I had a little guy in town was asking about it, and I'm so thankful it was busy the day that he had asked me, and then I completely spaced and forgot. And his mom reached out to me, and I'm so glad, because I was like, oh my God, yeah, let me do that now. So I got that set up, and that'll be fun. They can come. Their parents are required. Well, they're each required to have a parent with them. And but their parents can hang back and just watch and see what see what it's all about. They can come and go. If they want to leave, they can leave, certainly. But it won't be crazy. Like, it's probably just going to be in the chapel room with the the casket that I have like a stuffed ghost in with sequins eyes, and it's just, you know what I mean? Not something that's not scary.
It's not scary, terrorizing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like we won't go full dark. We're not doing, you know what I mean? It'll be geared towards them, but their parents will be there too. If the child needs them, or if something that they don't approve of. But I already put out a disclaimer. Listen, I can't control what they say through the spirit box, and some of them do get spicy. So take that for what it is, and
buyer beware.
And your kid best, right? If you think that they might get spooked by an event like this, please don't.
Then don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, we're not out here to terrorize children. So
my kids would be asking, where's the vampires at?
No.
That's what they'd be asking. They would see a casket and they'd be expecting, oh, there's a vampire in there. Let's check.
Well, I can tell you, I've been in that casket, and I wouldn't last a whole day as a vampire sleeping in that casket. Bob put because it's not made to hold a living person, so we had to kind of bring it up a little bit. So Bob put some brackets in that's holding some plywood, and then I just put a yoga mat on top of that. so that you're up a little more. So if you're laying in there for a photo op, you can actually be seen like you would see, like you would view a body.
Right.
But you know, they can get in and out, and
It'd still be cool. It'd still be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So what's how many places, or I should say, what is one of the places, locations that you have been to that you absolutely love to go back each time you're near it?
Wilson Castle in Proctor, Vermont. That is my that place. The owner, they have my heart. The caretaker there, and they're all like family to each other. They've got my heart. That building is incredible. The love that it's family owned. It's still owned by Colonel Wilson's granddaughter. It's just, you know, it's got an incredible backstory of, you know, European wealth, importation of European workers to build the place, abandonment, loss of children. Like, it's just, there's so much. And then like the Wilsons, when they moved in, he was a radio engineer. So like he helped set up radio towers and stuff for the Vatican and for like big. So it's full of all these gifts that were given to him.
Oh, wow.
As a thank you for the things that he helped, you know, when radio communication was really taking off,
Right.
back in the day. And he helped put in these towers and stuff. So it's interesting. And I feel like they know how to talk up there because they're very versed in and it's just amazing how it's just so incredible. Like they do day tours. If you don't want to do paranormal, if you just want to do a history tour, go do one if you're ever up in Vermont. And it's just tucked in the mountains. Absolutely gorgeous. It's only like an hour from Lake George, New York. So if you're, you know, there,
Been around there. Never been there, but been around there.
Yeah,
I would love to
it's
go to
got my
Vermont.
heart. Yeah, it's got my heart. So I highly recommend Wilson Castle to anybody.
Vermont's just a beautiful area to begin with, too.
It is, you know, and we used to summer. It's funny because as I've been here and I think back on things in my life, it's been very fortuitous that I'm here. Because my mother, like when I was a little kid, my parents would take me we vacationed to Vermont every summer. And well, we did a week in Maine and a week in Vermont. And one was a beach vacation, one was a mountain vacation. And one day my parents said, listen, if you want, we can just go to one and spend the whole time there. And I'm like, yes, please. I want to go to Vermont. And that's what we started doing. And we stayed, you know, we would stay there. And when I saw this place as an adult, I remember pictures of it from my childhood. My mother had taken me. They had just started the history tours back in the 80s, and my mother had taken me to go see it. And so it's something that I always remembered because of this particular swing that they have out on the veranda. So cool. But that's all in the mountains. And whenever we went there, I would always have queued up to listen to John Denver on the way up. You know, it's part of the Appalachian mountain chain. It's, you know, it's just, and then come to find out, I actually, part of my lineage comes from West Virginia, and, you know, so it all starts to make sense afterwards.
All the puzzles put it together.
Yeah, a journey, like almost a full circle journey, coming right back to your roots again. How cool is that?
It's amazing. But then, I mean, other places that I love up there, the USS Salem is awesome. The SK Pierce House is awesome. We've done those over and over again. They both have wonderful caretakers. Amazing. You actually have a sailor to help you on the USS Salem. He's the guy is actually like, he loves that ship. This is his life. Right. And don't call it a boat. He won't like that. I did that. And you know, the SK Pierce house was lovingly restored.
Yeah.
That it is meticulously restored by this one man who basically put his blood, sweat, and tears into the whole house, room by room by room by room.
Wow. Is
and
that Ken Watson?
It's Ken, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He also did a book on it too.
Yep, I have that book. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
know
have a
his
copy
wife.
of it.
Yeah, his wife
Oh,
is
you know Mimi?
Yeah, I know Mimi.
Yes. Yep.
Mimi did the spoon bending for us.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
And we've known Marion, who's their one of their caretakers there for years.
Yeah.
And one of my good paranormal investigating buddies is there as well. And it's all good. It's, you know, he actually, I got to plug him because I have to. So he's done a book on some of his haunted locations. So Bradford Scott is the author, and it's called My Haunted Journey, and it's on Amazon. It's amazing. He's also got a fiction story as well, and he's got more of the location books in the works.
Cool.
So
well, sis, you know what I'm thinking, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Road trip.
Yeah. Well, not road trip, but just let's get him as a guest.
Yeah, let's get him as a guest too.
Oh,
yeah.
you have to. You have to. I'll get you his contact info.
Oh, that'd be great.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's been investigating for a while, and he's the guy that when I want to get spooky, he's the one that I go. He's the one that I go with, because while he spooks really easy, he'll keep go. He'll keep going back, and it's just funny. He's the perfect blend of being willing to do the dark stuff and has a great sense of humor about everying as well. So
yeah, give me his information.
I will. I'll get that for you. For you to reach out to him.
Of the SK Pierce house, you spoke of Marion. How's she doing? Because I know she had surgery. Because she was going to come on the podcast, but she has surgery at that time. I think on her hip or something.
Well, I'm gonna leave that to her posting whatever. I'm not gonna speak to that just because it's her private medical. What's public is public, I guess.
Right.
But she's awesome. Everybody loves Marion, and so definitely
awesome. I have to reach out to her here.
Yeah.
And then I keep forgetting.
And then I just can't wait to get into some of the places down here. It just it's hard, when I'm by myself and stuff. But I'll get it eventually. I want to go see the old I've seen the old hospital on College Hill. I've been to it outside. Never been in because they were closed the 2 days that I went. Just for a day, just for a day tour.
Yeah.
And then I've done a day tour, the paranormal day tour at Trans-Allegheny, just to kind of see what it was like. Wow. We did that a few years ago with my son. We did have to leave early, so I couldn't see the whole thing, but we had to leave for him. And what else? I've been to Lake Shawnee. I have had the chance to see that last summer. So, they're not too far away.
That's awesome.
Trans-Allegheny is about 2.5 hours. It's a little bit further away, maybe 3 hours if you have traffic, which it's rare down here, which is lovely.
Yeah. Traffic.
So reversing the question, you told us about one of your favorite location. So let's reverse that to a location that you would not ever go back to.
Okay, here's my controversial take on this. It'll depend on how the ownership plays out, but possibly the Conjuring House. I've been there twice. It's a phenomenal place. First time was when the Heinzens were there. Second time was unfortunately under Jacqueline, and she kind of put a huge damper on our night. And you know, she wasted a bunch of our time and then had me kind of like just in a mood the rest of the night. You know what I mean? And so it just takes
we know.
Yeah, it ruins it.
You're not the first one to explain the same situation. So
it depends.
Totally understandable.
If it ends up with Jason, I would definitely go back there because it's just such a beautiful, beautiful history and house. And I would never go to the Warrens' house for numerous reasons. Now, I have to put out a full disclaimer here. I adore Matt Rife. Absolutely adore Matt Rife. I think he's funny. I like his humor. I like the darkness of his humor. It's a joke. I get it. But as far as a paranormal location goes, they've got the Warrens' house so twisted, and they're saying that they're, you know, trying to keep up the memory of the Warrens' legacy alive and everything. Well, here's my where I get hung up on it. Lorraine said her house was so the artifacts and the house were separate. She had her house paranormally sealed, right? This is her words. She would have blessings done and nothing could get into her house.
Right.
How is her house haunted?
Right.
So then we go to the artifacts and we're talking about all that stuff in there, and we're, you know, preserving the Warrens' history. Lorraine Warren's last wish was for all those items to go to the Vatican upon her death and the public not have access to them.
Right.
So what legacy are we upholding? Like, what exactly are we doing here?
Right.
And I don't like the any place that charges you to review your evidence before you can post it. Right. I'm all set with it. All set. You know, I have a little disclaimer on my waiver that says that it's basically like it's a media release essentially, right? That your picture might be taken while you're here and it might be released. Because if you're here for a public hunt and somebody's snapping pictures and posts it on Facebook, I have zero control over that.
Right.
Anything that goes up, you know, if something happens and you know, we're going to use my security footage, which has happened. It's stuff like that, but your footage is your footage.
Right.
Like your evidence is your evidence. That's for you to take your experience, and that's your story to tell, not mine. I own the building, but I don't own the spirits. I don't own the, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, you know,
well,
I have
and you know,
free reign.
It's like the bird cage in Tombstone. You know, they're very much into, if you catch evidence, do us a favor. Go on, if you're gonna post it on social media, tag us.
Yes. Oh, absolutely tag me somehow. I want to see it. I want to share it.
Right.
Yeah. I want to share it out for people.
Yeah, exactly. But I read the same thing you did, and I have the same. I'm very concurrent on what you're saying as well. It goes against the grain. And me as a medium, it goes against the grain. And how I know Lorraine had said that her house was her paranormal haven, meaning that it had no paranormal activity going on in there. You need to, as a medium, or even a paranormal investigator, you need to have your safe spots. Yeah. You need to be able to be safely in your environment, to be able to recharge, to be able to do what you need to do and not be bothered. So I totally get that. I didn't realize that it needed to go to the Vatican. And I think that probably would have been the best thing for those items.
I think Chris McKinnell, when he came on, he was on a few times. I think he mentioned it. But I'm not for sure. But
yeah, I think he kind of vaguely touched on it. But yeah, so I mean, I agree. It's a money making device, and to even look at the amount of money of what you would spend to be able to go into it, it's very unattainable for some of these groups.
Yeah,
absolutely, and it's just a house. Like I think about it, it's more. I mean, yeah, it's got history, whatever, but it's just a house. That by Lorraine's wording shouldn't even be haunted.
Right.
So it's incredible. Like, so the Wilson Castle that I talked about is cheaper than that. And they have an insane upkeep because they're literally replacing brick by brick on that building, because the European brick makers, they made these bricks in Europe. They used them as a ballast in the ship when they came over, and the, you know, marble and stuff, different slabs they used to bring stuff over, cannot handle the climate in Vermont. And they have just been crumbling the entire facade of this building, plus all of its outbuildings. Which there are a lot of them. So, I mean, you know, just trying to get the bathrooms all back up and running. There's no heat in the place. Like, it's just, there's a lot of things, although I don't think that they're having plans of putting heat in. They are a seasonal operation, but, because I couldn't imagine the cost to heat it, but that's half of the cost, you know, less than half the cost of the Warren's house. You know, the USS Salem is literally floating in salt water and needs constant upkeep so that it doesn't rot and sink.
Right.
That's still not, you know what I mean? I'm like, and that's not half of what they charge there. And it blows my mind.
Right.
But it is what it is. And that's, you know, unfortunately what's happening with a lot of places. But I came in it as an investigator first, and this is how I would want to, this is what I would want if I were to walk into a place. That's how I treat my guests.
Right.
Well, even at the Conjuring house, we was out there 2 years ago. We had tickets to go see it, but that's when all the hectic stuff went down with Jacqueline and everything, and we didn't know nothing about it until we saw something on YouTube, and they said they wasn't going to show it or anything. Nobody didn't tell us. We could have been out of some money, so we did get our money back, but
good.
No one didn't tell us, so we could have lost a lot of money there. We do
a lot of money. A lot of people did actually travel here. I believe there were a couple international travelers too, and then they couldn't get in, and they had reserved it, and like, that's awful.
It is awful.
It is. We went to the Lizzie Borden house instead in Far River, which
surprisingly, I've never been there.
I'm not going to say too much about it because, you know, but it's a nice place. Make sure you visit the cemetery where they're buried at, and also Lizzie's home.
Yes, I believe if anywhere she's at Maplecroft. Maplecroft. If she's anywhere, that's where she is. That's my you know, that would be my belief. She hated that house.
She's not at the Lizzie at all. She is, I mean,
she's at Maplecroft.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that maybe it's just me. I don't know. I think Sis kind of sides with me here, though. When you go to the Lizzie's house, first thing you see is a mannequin that's supposed to be Andrew.
Right.
Lying on the couch with a sheet over his head. And sometimes they put blood on the sheet and sometimes they don't. Well, paint or whatever, you know. And then they have an axe down below by the couch leg, you know, just to show off. But then you walk into the dining room. Now you have like 6 to 8 pictures of Andrew after he got axed.
Yeah, the real life photographs.
Yeah. I mean, can you just imagine him being there and looking at the mannequin, looking at those pictures day in and day out? I mean, it's really sad.
Yeah. And most spirits don't want to be defined by that one moment in time. You know,
no.
It's been proven with the Lizzie Borden house through I believe it was Amy and Adam Berry that went there, and they actually got more responses at Maplecroft from her and talking about her life, everyday life there than they did there. And one of the things that was caught in the Maplecroft house was tired of talking about the acts, the murders, the blood.
Mhm.
They're done with it. To have to
So-
relive that over and over again is incredible.
I hope that is true. I know you're telling me the truth that you saw that, but I hope that is true because I do know of where Amy and Adam for Kindred Spirits have fabricated a story.
Yeah, correct.
For a
Yeah.
house. So, because the zombie boy at the Oliver house, that episode that they did,
Well, they created that, and that they created the
it was
zombie
a
boy.
complete no, they didn't. It was a complete. It's a complete and utter fabrication, and it just I lost.
Correct. That's what I meant
all
by they
respect for them.
created it. It was a fabrication that they created.
It
Mhm.
like he was just and that house is so active, so like in such a rich history. They were loyalists to the crown, and the Sons of Liberty like ran them out with torches and all, like chased them down, and they fled their house with the clothes on their back and nothing else.
Yeah.
They had to leave the country. Now they were born here.
Oh.
They were born in the U.S., lived in that house their whole life, but lived, you know what I mean? Lived in the area their whole life. They only knew this. They didn't know England.
Right.
But they were forced to move to England because they were loyalists.
Right.
And it's, Benjamin Franklin there's a thing about secret letters being hidden by Benjamin Franklin, who was noted as being a visitor there. They were like sneaking, I believe he was exchanging I believe he was, I think he used like a maid or something there as a spy or what. I don't know the whole history now off the top of my head. I don't remember it exactly, but like, you don't need to make anything up.
Right.
So,
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very true, and everything. Speaking of the paranormal universe, and there's so many shows out there nowadays that you don't know for sure if they're fabricating the truth or what, and how I feel about it is I kind of stopped watching all those shows now because it's like, I don't know for sure if that's true. Is it? Is it not? It's like AI, you see AI. Is that really AI or not? Because they look so and everything. What are your thoughts about how all the TV shows nowadays are coming together and doing things like that? Stuff that's not true and everything.
I mean, it sucks. That's basically the long and short of it. It's awful because these places have histories. They have wonderful, rich histories.
Yeah.
And we don't need to make anything up.
Do you think they're
watch them for entertainment? You know what I mean? I'll watch one for a location. If there's a location I want to visit, I'll watch it just to see the location.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
you gotta take everything with a grain of salt.
It's paranormal entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as you're looking at it that way, they're fine. You cannot get ghost hunting tips from them because they do the most ridiculous things. And
it's a demon.
Everything's a demon.
Everything's a demon.
Oh, everything. It's
as a medium, I think I've encountered one. So, I mean, literally. Grumpy entities. I mean, you touched on it. Grumpy entities. Absolutely.
Yes. Well, and especially the war. If you think about the Warrens, because they were running with a Catholic view, every earthbound spirit is demonic.
Right. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm not out here to change anybody's minds on what they believe or anything. If it makes their heart feel safe, and if it gives them peace and brings them joy, run with it. Believe whatever your system is. Because God knows mine sounds wacky when I say it out loud. So I'm not one to judge. But yeah. I mean, we just got to take everything with a grain of salt. Let people have their fun and do their thing, and just know that some people lie.
And kind of in relation to that, how about para-unity? How do you feel about bringing all the paranormal teams together as a unit, like a para-unity event?
I love that, quite frankly. I just think that there's a lot of people that can't handle it. I have been blessed down here. Like I was an investigator, right? So I was a team member. We did our own things with our own little groups and just different friends. We'd go out and do whatever. But now as a venue owner, you know, I'm actually getting, it's quite enjoyable for me because I'm getting the, you know, the stuff from everywhere, meeting everybody. It doesn't matter if you're friends with this one or that one. You book my place, you book my place. You follow my house rules, come in and have fun. I don't care what your team politics are or who you like or don't like, you know, or what your methods are. Just, you know, come in. I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple. Just, you know, don't publish family names. Don't, you know, obviously funeral related, you know, the business names, you're more than welcome to list those off, but, you know, try to stay away from the personal names, identifying somebody directly. And, you know, don't burn my building down. No blood rituals. I don't want any blood rituals. I think that is the most disgusting thing on the face of the earth. I don't need your biohazard in here. But you know, just don't break my stuff. But you want to use if you want to use a Ouija board, use a Ouija board. If you want to go solely metaphysical and have a seance around a table, knock yourself out. Like whatever it is your however, use this space for your learning in to test your theories and whatnot, or just come for fun because they'll talk to you. We've definitely learned that. So, but it's all fun.
That's awesome. Speaking to you, it has been, you are very honest, and I love that about you. I love the truth. I love your truth because
sometimes it goes. Some people don't like that. That's where I've made some enemies, but
it's okay, you know, because that's what we want our podcast to be about is truth, because there's so much flakiness out there. People just don't really know, you know, if it's the truth or.
Oh, there is one thing. If I caught somebody trying to move a spirit on, like trying to like, you're gone. Your night is over.
You know, and that is really interesting that you said that, because when I was at the Lizzie Borden house, I kind of did my own thing. So when the group was in the part of the basement, I was in the seance room by myself, and I just had this urge of talking to somebody, you know, and somebody came, you know, just whispered to me and came across the spirit box and said, release me. I'm tired of this hell. Release me, you know. And I'm just like, I can't do that, you know.
Well, I mean, it's okay to tell, you know, like acknowledge them that they're asking for that. And you know, it's okay to tell them you're not bound. Like you can come and go as you want, but to try to forcefully move them out or move them on, that's where that's not a decision you should be making. That's for them to decide.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I tell people all the time, you know, as a medium. It's like, yeah, I can bring water to you, Heather. I can't make you drink it.
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so you can't force anyone or any entity or spirit to do anything that you want it to do. You don't have that power.
No, and if they are here and see this as their home, they are welcome. They've, you know what I mean? I have really opened the door for them and said, you can stay. Like you know, and if teams are it's funny, like I'll talk to them, like if teams are being mean to you,
tell me,
do nothing. Or you know what I mean? Don't give them any response at all. That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But I haven't had that happen yet. So far, there's always something going on, but
it's happened at the Clifton Hotel. It's really funny because there's one team that we all know in Arizona that are kind of like one of those teams that, you know, those paranormal entertainment teams, you know, on TV. They're like them, but not on TV. but they do the same thing. There's they provoke, they piss the spirits off, things like that. And the general manager found out about that a little after the fact. And she told the spirits, she goes, you do what you want to do. She goes, it's totally up to you. Do you know that was the most quietest investigation ever? They badmouthed the hotel. They said there was no activity, yada, yada, yada. And, all of us that have had activity down there, we just go, hee, 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 hee.
Yeah. I mean, they're not stupid. They were going to react however they're going. They're who they were, right?
Right.
This is the way I look at it. Their spirit. They're people.
They're people.
They're flipping people. Like, right. Would you walk down the street and and tell somebody, just a complete stranger, to no, we don't do that. We smile and wave. Treat them that way. Right. Like you start out. I mean, if you get, you start out with respect. If you call me names, I'm throwing them back at you. But I'm not going to start it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I love that. I just go hee hee.
Well, Heather, it's like I said, it's been really great to have you as a guest.
Hope you
will come back. Maybe next year too. I know there'll probably be more stories that you would love to tell, or some updates on your home as well and everything.
Sure. I'd love it.
I just want to say thank you, though. Many blessings to you and to the audience. Please jump over to Heather's Facebook page and also the website. Hit her up with questions or anything you have, you want to ask her. Visit her, tell her hi. And until next time, blessings, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.